Connects. There we go. Okay, we live on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm cold, so I'm bundling up like usual. How's
How's
it going,
everyone's
guys?
day going? Yes, we both got our waters. Sam and I both got our waters. Hell yes. Do you guys have your waters too? Ben,
Girl,
do you have your water? Emily, do you have your water?
yeah, we want to see your waters. Not that you can put them in here, but we want to see your waters.
Yes. Okay, so let's start this live. And for those of you guys who are new here, Sam, can you please introduce yourself? And then we'll be talking about what is fat loss and what is weight loss and why they're different and which one you should be focusing on and why.
Totally. So I am Sam. I am a fitness coach here in Canada, and I help people with chronic conditions and just general fat loss to kind of gain control of your mental and physical health.
I love that. So say hi everyone to Sam. And as you guys are tuning in, please drop some like wins from your day or let me know how your day is or drop where you're from just to see where everyone's tuning in from.
Heck yes.
Jesse, where are you from? And then KJ, LSP, I don't know. Jess is here though. Well, holy shit, it feels like it's been forever since you have to have been on alive together. Oh, it has been actually.
It's been at least 2 months, and we did one last week that you missed, Jess. So you
Yes,
caught us on the good one this week. Hello,
awesome.
baby fit. Woo, woo, woo.
Carter, hello. Katie says hi, Sam.
Hello, Miss Katie. All right.
Awesome. Sana,
Well,
tuning in from Middle Tennessee.
fantastic. Love to see it.
Cool. Um,
Okay.
Sam, tell them where you're from, and then I'll go.
I'm from Winnipeg, Canada. Well, I
And
live
then,
here.
yeah, of course. And then I live near Toronto, like 30 minutes north.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So,
actually, let's
mhm.
get on this topic because it's a
Okay,
big
awesome.
misconception. I'm super dying to like talk about it. Like,
Awesome. So let's start with what is like okay, so the problem is what I see with women who come to me too is that everyone's like I want to lose weight. So obviously when you say it like we're going to talk about why weight and fat is different, but I hear everyone saying like I want to lose weight.
mhm.
And so can you tell us like, so Sam, can you give us like a little bit more like what weight loss is? And then I'll go.
Totally. I'm just gonna give a shout out to Mr. SB. Good to see you, fellow
Uh-huh.
Manitoban. Okay, form equals function, of course, here from Detroit. We love to see you guys. So now, weight loss. Okay, whenever everybody comes to us, they're like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. Weight loss actually refers to a goal that means lowering your body weight. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter to you if you lose muscle or fat. Weight loss reflects seeing the scale go down and nothing more. Getting
Yes.
skinny versus fat loss, Barbie.
Yes, and fat loss is the goal of actually lowering your body fat percentage and keeping as much muscle as possible. And this is why when you're people are focusing on weight loss, they generally just like looking at the scale, be like, okay, I stepped on a scale, am I lower or higher? And if they're lower, they're like happy. Whereas if you look at like fat loss, you're determining that by like looking at yourself in photos or measurements.
Exactly. Just a side note, guys, if this is a trigger for you for scales and stuff, you should probably skip this video. We will be discussing it a little bit. Now, when we're focusing on scales, it is just one tool in your toolbox, is what I like to say. The scale is
Mhm.
not the end all be all, it's one tool in your toolbox. It can help you indicate if you're inflamed inside. It can help you indicate if you ate too many carbs the night before. Too
Yeah.
many in quotations. The scale is just one metric that we use to help us with calculations. It is not your self worth. So, whenever you try and lose weight, typically, what's the first place
Mm,
people go to?
cardio.
Uh huh. Love to see my face there, right? That's just like,
And
uh-huh.
then we're gonna tell you why. We're gonna tell you in a second why you guys should really listen to this, because I see so many women stuck in this, and even though you may have been like, oh, that's not me, like at one point, like it is
You
so
were
many.
at one point. I
Yes, we
guarantee
were
you,
at
you
one
were.
point, and it is so many women who are like, okay, like the scale is everything, like, and they're like, oh, I just want to see the scale go down, doing like so
Mhm.
much cardio just to see the scale go down. But like
Yep.
Sam's gonna get into like why that's detrimental, and like, you know, to you, like mentally, physically.
I'm living proof of what happens when you go to the other direction. So, when you want to lose weight as a focus, many people typically turn to the scale. This is what gym rats like to call cardio bunnies. Cardio
Mhm.
bunnies are people who almost only do cardio, and they're like, but that's what social media says. That's what we've been taught, calories
Yeah.
in, calories out, go burn some extra calories by doing cardio. No, 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 no. Okay. When you do cardio only, you only burn calories while you're doing it. And dependent on if you've eaten and when, and a whole bunch of other things, you are going to be entering into the aerobic, typically the aerobic fat burning zone, which is very minimal. You have to burn through a lot in order to start seeing a lot of fat loss. Just saying.
So
And
just
it's
to repeat what you said, if you're doing cardio and you're purely focusing on cardio, you're only burning calories while you're doing cardio.
exactly. So, is that the best use of your time? We want to train smart, not hard.
So keep this in mind with our next point when it comes to fat loss and weight training. And keep in mind, like, if your
Mhm.
if your goal is to see the scale go down and you're only doing cardio, it's kind of like you're never gonna get ahead.
No, you're literally the gerbil or the hamster on the wheel running endlessly and endlessly and endlessly.
Yeah,
Cardio is important. We're not shitting on cardio here. It is important for heart health. It is important for some forms of fat loss, but it is not the only training modality that you can use. Okay?
exactly.
We want to train harder, not or smarter, not harder, if that makes sense. Do you want to go into this next one or do you want me to rant?
So 1 second. So, Aspie said trying to outrun a crappy diet, which obviously we know you can't. Um,
Marie?
so in terms of the next point, did you want to go into like fat loss and weight training?
Sure. So, when you want to lose fat, yes, I'm in my PJs deal. Um,
Yes,
when
the
you are trying to lose fat, you want to be in something called a calorie deficit. Okay. A calorie deficit just means that you're eating a little bit less than your body needs to maintain where you're at. Okay. That's all
Mm-hmm.
it means. In simple terms, there's a set number of calories you've been eating that kept you here. You need to eat just a little less. You don't need to go crazy aggressive, just a little less in order to create the deficit, which is eating less. That space is called the deficit. Okay. When you are trying to lose weight or fat, a calorie deficit is a must. Now, when it comes to
Mm.
fat loss, you want to focus on calorie deficit, but you know,
So
how do I say this
yes.
here?
So like okay, so here's the thing. When you're focusing on, like, we have our weight loss, purely scale focused, doing a whole bunch of cardio. When you're that focused, you're just gonna see the scale go down. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously there's way more things when it comes to scale that can fluctuate the scale, like drinking too much water, eating too much salt, etc. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to fat loss, that's what you want to focus on, is fat loss, because um with fat, okay, so sorry, you want to focus on weight training. Okay, like
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yes.
obviously, as like Sam was saying, like cardio is super beneficial for your heart health and etc. But if you want to actually see body recomposition and see your fat go down versus just seeing the number on the scale go down, which I'm sure who here wants to lose fat and not just weight? Because if you're losing fat, you could still have like, this is where like kind of like skinny fat comes, I
Oh
think, also
gosh, yeah.
because so the skinny fat, yes, you're low weight, but with no muscle because you aren't weight training. So in order for you to lose body fat, you need to weight train because the more muscle you have, the more you're burning at rest, like more calories, like, and you get to eat more,
Exactly.
but still your body composition looks tighter. Like
We
especially
were
when
getting there. Yes,
especially when
exactly.
people say like I want to get toned, they actually want to have a low body fat percentage, have higher muscle. But then the mistake that people make is that, oh, I'm just going to do cardio to achieve that tone results, but then and focusing on the weight on the scale, and
The
then it's
dreaded
completely
T word.
backwards. Make sense?
Exactly. The dreaded T word. Every person in the fitness industry despises the toned word. Tone is not a thing. Muscle is a thing. So basically that's exactly where I was going. I just had like a major loss of train of thought
All good,
there.
all good. I got you, girl.
Thank you for saving me there. But typically, guys, whenever we want to train smarter, not harder, we want to maintain. So, whenever you lose weight, I guess this is where I was going to go. Whenever you lose weight of any sort, you're going to lose a certain amount of muscle. But if you're focusing on cardio and weight loss, you are going to lose a substantial amount of muscle
Right.
versus if you're in a small calorie deficit prioritizing strength training, you will lose much less muscle and you'll maintain that muscle mass. Remember, muscles are calorie expensive. The more you have, the more you get to eat. And so by focusing on helping your metabolism, by focusing on maintaining muscle density and increasing it, you're actually giving yourself the gift of more food. You're giving yourself the gift of strength. You're going to give yourself the gift of less body fat. And
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
gives a shit about what the scale says whenever you feel good in your skin?
I know, and that's the thing is like, I definitely like don't weigh myself every single day, like maybe like once a week, because I
Mm,
do get like kind of like, oh, am I doing things wrong instead of just like actually following things, and then you know what I mean? So I do like to go just by like honestly photos. Like I don't know, I barely measure myself either. I just like I measured my once with my coach when we started, and I think I haven't done I've maybe done it once in like the last 6 months. But
mhm,
I just like to like purely look at my photos because like that's what matters to me. It's like even for me,
mhm.
like the measurements, so it's like okay, like 27 or 30, like it doesn't make that much difference on like as long as on like the photos I'm looking good.
Yeah.
Um and again with what Sam said, like start like lifting weights, girls, if you are struggling with um
Seriously, get your butt in a gym. Gym memberships are not expensive typically.
mhm.
You can
And just
shop
start.
around. Honestly, yeah. Like if you're in a city, there are gyms for $10 a month, fit for less.
Oh, facts.
Okay. So the price of you eating out is the price of your gym membership, in all honesty. Instead of paying for a restaurant, go pay for a gym membership if you don't have the equipment or don't like training at home. When you put things in perspective, things shift. And that sounds heartless, but I want to go out with my partner or I want to go do this. Is going out regularly as important as maintaining your mental, physical, and emotional well being? Gyms are a place of therapy. Gyms are a place of therapy. I'm going to say it again,
Oh, I love that. It's so true.
right? You're frustrated, you're angry. Go lift some heavy weights, listen to some angry metal. You'll feel good in half an hour. I don't know how many
Oh,
times I
yeah,
broke
yeah.
down while deadlifting. It's usually when I'm deadlifting. I don't know why. But like I don't know how many times like I was emotional even in my own house and like quite literally I was bawling at the deadlift while I was lifting. While I was lifting, I'm like I'm whatever feeling being processed, but this is liberating. Like it's literally a place of therapy, guys. So when
Girl.
gyms shut down,
Yeah, yeah.
major, 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 major problems for the gym rats because for us it's a place of release. It's a place of self-respect. It's a place to build yourself.
That's so funny you say that because I remember one time I was like super mad and then I went to lift and I was actually pretty much killing it. Like I was lifting heavy. I'm like, can I be mad more? Because like
Yeah, it's totally helpful. And like to build off of what you said, I do weigh in most mornings, but here's the proviso. I have an autoimmune disease. So I use the scale as a tool to figure out when my body is inflamed. If
mm,
I'm consistent in my calorie deficit, I'm consistent in my training and nutrition. If I see a major spike of sometimes 7 pounds on the scale go up one day, I am like, holy crap, a flare up's going to happen. Holy crap. Something like that is super eye opening. Maybe if my eczema is flaring or
mm.
I have Hashimoto's, guys, so thyroid condition. It'll spike up, but I guarantee you in 3 days it's back down, or maybe 5. Sometimes it's 5 if it's bad. So you can use the scale to identify food intolerances. You can use the scale to help you identify flare-ups. So it can be a
Mm.
very extra tool in your toolbox. It's a handy dandy little thing.
And we got a question. So someone said lemon
Oh,
in lukewarm water daily in the morning helps cut extra fat, isn't it? Also increases blood level too.
no, it will not help you increase fat loss. Gonna clarify that right now. Lemon water is fantastic for helping your body maintain alkaline states. It is fantastic for getting rid of bloat. Yes, it does not speed up your metabolism. There is enough
No.
science on that. No supplement will. Eat good food, move your damn body, and don't fall prey to all these crappy supplement gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Supplements are supplementation, not replacement for good food and movement. If any bodybuilder or fitness professional is telling you food and movement and sleep, that's literally the secret. You just don't want to do
Guys,
it.
a little bit of sore throat, but 100% like your fitness journey doesn't have to be as complicated as most people make it to be. So as we said, like focus on fat loss, focus on strength training, focus on sleeping, focus on getting your protein intake in, and like literally you're gonna see results. Stop trying to make it complicated. It's always like the simplest things that we don't want to do is like what's gonna get us the best results.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm giggling because on Facebook, my client Katie's like, "Hey now,"
She
because
knows. Oh.
she's a wonderful human being who likes to overcomplicate it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just like a little reminder because like we always think like, oh, the simple task or like, oh yeah, right, that's not gonna work. But then when we see something extreme, we're like, oh, if I just stay this extreme, then I'll see results, which is so silly because we always want to do why do we want to make it harder for ourselves, right? Like, don't
Yes.
make it harder than it needs to be.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, so totally that.
Katie's saying she's complicated. And last night we did a live in our Facebook group where I basically was talking about the 8 pillars of mental health
Yeah.
and was saying that we're basically very complicated plants that
Oh,
need
I love
food,
it.
water, rest, and wind movement. So I don't know if you're
Oh.
referring to that or just being complicated. But so, I mean, enough, please. My dog's whining. Now, typically, guys, remember when I said at the beginning that I am a poster child of this whole calorie deficit going to the extreme. In 2012, I took it to the extreme. I went to Russia. That is enough. I went to Russia and basically like what I was seeing was severe calorie deficits, very little food. And so it got in my head. It really screwed with my head because everybody was a beanpole from freaking
Mm.
starving. And you were either a beanpole or super round. There was no in between, really. And so when I was doing that, I started following the Russian trend and I became super, super skinny with very little muscle mass. Then I decided to compete a year later and I was still maintaining, ready for this? 1,200 to 1,300 calories a day, and I trained 6 days a week
Oh my God.
aggressively. No wonder I wasn't seeing results, right? And so as a result, do you mind not flashing the world with my boobs? I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, Tika.
She's such a shit. Needs to be touching you at all times. So as a result, I decided to compete in bodybuilding. Guys, my calories were over 3,000 at one point. I was like crying from all the food. I leaned out in 3 weeks. Suddenly there was muscles like crazy. Suddenly I was like no fat. And that just goes to show you that you do need to fuel your body to fuel the movement. Okay.
Mm.
Now, when you take that to the opposite extreme, you can end up with metabolic damage, either from too high or too low. And metabolic syndrome is something that hits ex bodybuilders and fit pros quite often that we don't talk about. Metabolic syndrome or metabolic damage is basically you've screwed up your metabolism royally from too aggressive dieting, and the body's just like, we don't know what to do anymore. So it just kind of goes on hiatus and is going to gain a whole bunch of fat.
Exactly.
Now, when that happened, it took me 6 years to fix my metabolism.
Damn, girl.
6 years. It takes time. And then I fix it, get all lean, 2018, 2019, rocking it. And then hypothyroidism happened. And then Hashimoto's was diagnosed. So this is just to show you that no matter your professional level, no matter your education, your body is absolutely integral to your process. It's not always calories in, calories out. Hormones
Exactly.
play a huge role. So when you're focusing on fat loss, the game gets a lot more complicated than just weight loss, which is why coaches are paramount, which is why our job is to teach you the appropriate way for your body. And as we say almost every week, how many people come to us eating way too little for way too long? I like to ask this question on a consult. Are you a grown mom? Like, are you a grown woman? I'd ask it like this. Barbie, are you a grown woman?
Yeah.
Do you deserve to eat toddler food?
No.
Or do you deserve to eat grown-ass woman food?
Good.
Usually it's the
Katie
grown-ass
said eat
woman
your protein. Amanda says she's guilty.
food. Eat your protein. Yeah, Katie's learning this lesson. Amanda's learning her lessons, which are all awesome. These guys are my clients, and they've been doing some massive changes to their mental and physical well-being. So
That's so amazing to hear.
claps to them. Claps to them. And does
Yes.
not matter your background, your mental health status. Like, I have lots of clients with actually like BPD, anxiety, depression, PTSD. You know what, guys? You give them the tools how to deal with it, and they become the absolute rock stars because they've unleashed a power that the rest of us don't have, and it's fucking cool.
Facts.
Right? So I'm done my rant.
One more thing for Miko's function says process. I love when Canadians say it.
Process? Yeah, it's process. You and your process.
I think he's just too US.
You and your process. Aw, Katie. She says that.
Can you read that out loud, please?
She says, Sam, you've helped me change in so many ways that I'm forever grateful for. And I'm forever grateful for you, girl. You've become a dear friend, and I love you.
Hell yes. So hope you guys found some value. Just to leave you off. Eat your protein, as Katie said. Focus on your fat loss. Focus on how your pictures look. Focus on measurements. Stop letting the scale dictate how you look, and go lift some weights.
Yeah, focus on that energy that you build in. Keep that momentum, guys. Much love.
Yes. Have
Fat
the best
loss over
day.
weight loss.
Bye.
Bye.